Basically, he's kind of wondering how, the gist of it is, he's wondering how radiant heat performs in his climate zone. He's in zone 4A. So instead of reading the question, I'll just kind of let you talk about it, because I think you're going to kind of cover everything. So when you kind of touched on it already, but I think there are some questions on the radiant heat, and we also have a couple of questions on insulation, which you're also jumping into. So I know at the radiant heat, it's not a problem up here. It's not really a problem anywhere. You don't really need it if you don't have much call for heating, probably in certain areas. But I thought we had another question, but I'm not finding it at the moment from, I believe it was Texas was asking about radiant heat as well, or maybe Tennessee. I think you mentioned that. And we did have a lot of questions come in. So we got a very curious group of people here tonight. So I don't know if we can kind of speed through a few of these and try to get to many as when we can, but yeah, if you want to elaborate a little bit more on the radiant heat, I think you would kind of answer about 2 more questions that were here, as well as touch on those vapor barriers maybe a little bit.
The radiant heat is a water-based system that we have with PEX tubing in the concrete slab. And you need air conditioning. Everybody now, in Minnesota included, goes for air conditioning. So along with the radiant floor heating, we have mini split system sitting up about 10, 12 feet above the second floor. And that's an 18,000 BTU mini split. It means that the condenser, the fan coil unit is outside, and there's 2 lines that run in, supply and return to that unit. It is a heat pump system. So for the time that you have in the spring and the fall, you're worried about too much heat in the floor. Well, you set your thermostat on the wall to your comfort level. Ours happens to be at 70 or 71. We don't change it. We don't go up to it. Well, occasionally we'll say, gee, it's a little cold in here. Well, it's it's in digital, it's a digital thermometer. So it's a half a degree colder or something. I mean, if we can feel that, because we're so used to this constant temperature. But the reality is, when the sun comes out during the daytime and helps warm this house up, you might get to 72 degrees, 73 degrees. The radiant floor system is not calling for more heat. It will maintain this temperature. You can leave it alone. Your feet will be warm, but it's not going to be generating more heat into this space. So from an overheating standpoint, if you had to in the spring or the fall, open a window if you think it's too warm, if it got too warm because the sun came out, control it that way. Turn your thermostat down if you want to at some point. So that with the mini split, with the heating system and the air conditioning system and the radiant floor, you've got total control of what you want to do.
Great. And I'm glad you brought up the cooling, because there was somebody that asked about that. So I'm glad you brought up the mini split. That kind of answers that one that popped in. So yeah, the mini splits are also very energy efficient too. So
yeah, one more thing on the mini split is that we've got a small unit in the master bedroom. It's a 8,000 or 9,000 BTU air conditioner. That, for the most part, cools our entire space during the summer. We have that large door we just leave open. So there's air coming out of the cool air is coming out of that. Cool air drops. It stays down on this floor, but it's not much hotter upstairs. We will actually leave the cupola window open, which is automatically controlled from down here. It's electric. So that's all part of this heating and cooling system. It's using natural air, opening windows. It's using, the radiant floor heat to generate what you want. It's the same temperature upstairs as this downstairs.
Okay.